ハイサイ Jesus Beat the Show!
Welcome back, friends, to High Side Jesus Beat Show! Yay! Okay, so for today's episode, we have a freshly married couple.
すごい新婚さん来ましたよ。
Hi, very
Very
fresh,
fresh.
indeed. Today, the whole show is gonna be in Japanese and English and everything in between. So,
マンチャマンチャですね。
マンチャですね、ミックスです。So, okay. So today, on my right, we have YOHANNAさん。
よろしくお願いします。
よろしくお願いします。そして新しく結婚された and her partner
Quinton.
Quinton in the house.
Yay.
Thank you for being on the show. You two come from different background, different ethnicities. Is there anything like culture-wise that you were like you felt shocked?
カルチャーショックあったでしょうね。
ありましたか? Let's start from YOHANNA さん。
YOHANNA
どうですか?
カルチャーショック。
カルチャーショック。
そうですね。カルチャーショックっていうより、クイントンショック。
クイントンショック。
Okay.
彼とってもユニークな性格なので、やっぱりね、生活一緒にしてるといろんなことを発見するんですけど、まあすごい開放的な人なんですよ。で、まあトイレもオープンだし、
オープン。
ドアを閉めない。
文字通りオープンだね。
トイレもオープン。寝る時ももう
隠し事はないって感じね。
そうなんですよ。
ノーハイリング。
そう、全然気にしない、何も気にしない、もう全部がオープンなんで、そこはちょっとびっくりしましたね、私としては。
オープンすぎるとなんかすごい逆にビビっちゃったりしましてね。
まあでも可愛らしいなと思いながら。
そうですね。やっぱ熱々ですね。
そうですね。今のところは。
So let's hear from Quinton. So is there anything that you felt, like that you had shock in terms of cultural differences between America and Japan or Okinawa in particular?
Yeah, absolutely. First things first, I should say, when YOHANNA says I'm unique, that's just a nice way of saying that I'm weird. Just want to throw that out there. But yeah, absolutely. So I'm a quite open person. I'm a quite loud person. And we live in an apartment, so that's somewhat difficult. Something that I have to work on is really paying attention to the people that are around me and paying attention that we're kind of smack in the middle of people. So people that live above us, people that live below us, left and right. And I'm not a singer by any means. I'm not very good, but that doesn't stop me. So I still sing quite loudly and sing quite often, and that's something that I am trying to work on is being quieter and not doing that.
Do you get complaints from your neighbors when you
Not
do
yet.
that?
Not yet.
Not yet.
We've never gotten
how do you know that?
complaint.
Yeah, but how do you know that your voice is being heard? Like you're too like you're.
I don't know. YOHANNA's worried about it.
But can you hear your neighbor's noise from upstairs, for
yes,
example?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah,
They're quite loud.
sometimes.
Our neighbors above us are quite
Oh,
loud.
that's safe.
Okay.
That's safe.
Yeah.
On the left and right of us are not too bad, but the neighbors above us they're quite loud. They do their laundry usually around midnight.
Yeah.
Wow.
So which is it's okay. But it's more than anything. We've never gotten any complaints, but it's her being afraid of disturbing people. Which is something that I need to work on, and I need to be more mindful of.
Right, because you come from I mean America, right? And, and particularly your place is like huge place. Like you have a lot of land.
Yeah.
And probably I've saw some of the footages from I think YouTube where you're like playing in your in your backyard
めっちゃ広い。
in the snow, right?
Yeah.
And so your neighbor, how long is the distance between
yeah.
your house and your neighbor's house?
It's probably 400 to 500 meters.
Right, so-
is the closest
500メー
house.
トルぐらい離れたとこ
So
に次の家があるっていうぐらいですからね。
So, yeah, that's
So coming from that environment to an apartment with with a lot of like people in the top, below, and on the sides, that's a huge. I can assume that is a
definitely
huge
an
culture
adjustment.
shock.
Definitely an
Yeah.
adjustment, and it's not just the location of where we are staying, but it's also living in America it's not much of a secret that Americans are quite loud, quite
And
loud
then
people.
open. Yeah,
And open, quite open, and
That's right.
and there's a sense in Okinawa, and in Korea as well when I was there, of being more reserved, being quieter, And it's not necessarily a sense of being quiet. From what I've picked up on, it's a gentleness. And that's something that I'm trying to adopt because I don't have it. You know, I win American Idol every time I take a shower. So it's like I have to really tone that down and to not be yelling, you know, or screaming, or when I have a speaker playing, keep it at a reasonable level. That's one of the bigger ones. Or even deliberately or intentionally keeping my voice down when we're talking at night in the street, when we're walking. Awesome. Is a big one.
Awesome. So let's talk about Okinawa in general. So what are some of the, I guess, characteristics or some of the cultural differences that you were able to identify as an American or somebody who comes from a foreign country?
Yeah. Well, one thing right off the bat that I could think of is the idea. I'm a very touchy-feely person. I'm not handsy. There's very much so a difference between being touchy-feely and handsy. I'm not handsy, but I'm a touchy-feely person. I love hugs. Giving, you know, man-to-man handshakes. You know, I usually do an extra hand on the, you know, that's
and you're Italian, right?
Yes, yeah.
So once in a while you might want to kiss people, right?
You know,
man
I
kiss?
do the cheek thing.
Right, the cheek thing?
Yeah, that's a very real thing, and I find myself often reaching out for hugs in a time. For me, it's completely normal, but in a time and in a place that might not be an appropriate Japanese time or an appropriate Okinawan time to give a hug. And there's nothing behind it. You know, there's nothing wrong, or wrong about my intentions.
See, the thing is, Japanese or Asians in general, we're not really touchy, right?
Yeah,
absolutely.
So we're really conservative when it comes to like skin. Skinship. That's the word. So yeah, I guess that's one of the major differences. Right?
That's probably the biggest one for me, because that's
So was there an instance where you were like, hey, like, you know, you were like trying to embrace somebody and the other guy was like,
absolutely
didn't know how to react?
When we had a group of Koreans, one of the women was leaving, and you know, for me, it's just natural. It's just a big hug. Hey, it's so great to see you. So great to meet you. And, you know, do that and then say goodbye.
Right.
But I could tell that she was kind of, did one of the
Oh, okay.
tap you on the shoulder, tap you on the back things. And that was a big kind of I don't want to say realization, but it was just this mental note that I had to take of, okay, don't do that again. You know, be a little more deliberate or conscious about when you go for those times and time and place.
So YOHANNA-san,
はい。
so you are a singer, songwriter,
はい。
and a gospel singer, songwriter,
はい。
and 何ですかね? I wanted to ask you, when did you start singing? Because she has an amazing voice, trust me. She can hit that high note and really, I mean,
すごい高い系の部分ですね。
そうですね. When did you start singing?
そうですね。小さい時から、クリスチャンホームで育ってで、教会とかでよく歌うことはあったんですけど、特にこの時期にスタートしたっていう記憶はなくて、もう私の母がすごく賛美とか、歌が好きで、もう家ではいつも音楽に触れてるというか、お母さんが歌ったりとか、ラジオをかけたり、賛美を聴いたりっていうのも当たり前で、ギターが家にあったのでギターを弾いたりとかっていうのも、そうですね、日常的なことで、なので本格的に歌を歌い始めたっていうのはもしかしたら大学生ぐらいの時じゃないかなと思います。その時に決心して賛美またゴスペル歌を発信していきたいって心に決めたのはだいたい19、20歳ぐらいの頃だったと思います。
そうですか。で、YOHANNAさんはジーザスビートでもおなじみですけれども、カフェライブでも2度出演していただきましたけど、オリジナルソングをパフォーマンスしてくれましたね。自分の歌を作るようになったのはいつ頃からですか？
そうですね、多分高校生ぐらいの時からじゃないかなと思います。一番最初に作ったのは、教会の メンバーと一緒にやったんですけれども、ある宣教師の方の証を聞いてそれに感銘を受けて、そこからなんか曲作って、これを賛美にできたらいいなっていうのがきっかけで、そこから始まったと思います。
あなたのななな
そうですそうです
今行きます
はい、その賛美ですね。はい。
歌っていただきたいですね。とか言って。
ちなみにヨハンナって名前はすごい珍しい。
そうですね。よく聞かれるんですけど。日本人です。
日本人。
韓国人って言いたいんですけど。
でも韓国語も喋れて、英語も喋れて、日本語も喋れる当然。でトライリンガルですね。
すごい、しかもすごい喋れるんですよね。
すごい。
浅くじゃなくて深く。
Speaking of language, Quentin now is studying kanji, right? So how's that going?
Kanji. It's the way I always say it. It's longer than it is hard.
It's hard.
So it doesn't make it easy, but it's just a long process because there's so many of them.
So how many words are you studying right now?
I have about 1,200 down.
Wow.
That is amazing. We were having this conversation a while ago, but he just started learning kanji 2 months ago. 2 months?
2 months ago.
2 months ago. And he already studied 1,700?
1,200.
Oh, 200. But nevertheless, that's huge, man.
So yeah, the goal is about 2,000 before I really start to dive into reading on a continuous basis. Because I learned very quickly that kanji is kind of the root of the language. Where the kanji is kind of gives the word its identity, and even the order of the kanji. So people that live here and have lived here for 25 years, they never took the time to learn kanji, so they're missing out on a vast majority of the language. And that's something very quickly that I don't want to happen to me. I just realized that it was okay. So I'm going to spend months. I'm going to study this. I'm going to get it down. So it is longer than it is hard.
But you're willing to to sacrifice to set a time to kind of sit down and work on kanji. That's amazing because here in Okinawa there are many because there's a American base here. We see a lot of Americans here, and we see a lot of people who get married to the local people here. So, but I can, based on my observation, there's like 2 types of Americans. One is someone who would work on base and pretty much be on base pretty much the whole time and don't have a chance to actually speak Japanese that often. And even someone who's been here for 10 or 20 or decades don't know how to speak Japanese. And on the other hand, we have Americans who are really fluent in Japanese and really going out into the community. So I mean, I see that here in Okinawa. So you were saying earlier, before the show started, that you had a conversation with YOHANNA's uncle, who is American, and I suppose he can speak basic Japanese, but didn't have regrets, or he feels regret that he didn't study kanji early on in his life.
Yeah, that was a big moment for me. A click kind of that took place in my mind of I don't want that. There's very few things, this is my personal opinion, that there's very few things out there that is as powerful and that is that affects someone's life as much as regret does. And as soon as that conversation took place between me and him, I had this realization of I don't want this regret in my life. I want to be able to connect with my wife on a deeper level. And
so love is what's driving you.
Part of it. That's a big part of it. That's definitely a big part of it. I love cultures and I love people in general. But that is absolutely a big part of it, of really being able to connect with my wife in her native language, because there's the native language affects you and it touches you. When you hear "arigatou gozaimasu," that touches you, whether you consciously recognize it or not. That's big to you. When I hear "thank you," that's big to me because I grew up hearing that. So I just didn't want that regret, and I wanted to be able to continuously grow.
Wow. So I'm looking forward to speak to you in Japanese, man. So
can I
keep up the good work.
Closer than you think.
Sure.
Closer than you think.
So what is your favorite kanji?
My favorite kanji.
Can I ask?
That's an interesting
So far.
question.
I really like. That's a great question, actually. I'm at that point where because I'm at like 1,200.
Yeah.
When someone asks that, or if someone asks like, "Can you write one?" I'm like, "Oh gosh, which one?" Like, favorite kanji though. My example that I always like to use whenever I explain how I'm learning kanji to people is to gather. I like that one because it's so
Together, tomo.
友ね
to gather.
Together.
Yeah.
友
This one?
Yes.
Ah,
Tomo,
okay.
tomo desu.
Yeah.
Tomo.
Because like when you break the primaries up or when you break the radicals up, you get standalone kanji. You get tree and you get gather. Or you get turkey and you get tree. And then when
That's a shoe.
集まるだ
Shoot,
集
sorry,
まるっていう
集まる
字です
Okay,
ね
okay.
So
集
when
ま
you,
る
so it always makes me laugh.
Gather
because-
ですね。
Yeah, it's when you put those together that I always look at that and I'm like, I wonder how did they develop that and turn that into the logogram for gathering. I'm
I know.
like, turkeys gathering atop of a tree. Okay, like, I guess I see. I see.
でも
that.
あれかな So yeah, I mean it's interesting because even for us Japanese, it's we don't
Really don't know.
what's the word?
Deconstruct?
Deconstruct
Yeah, yeah.
kanji like that. I mean, not.
But he knows.
Yeah, and it's interesting because
don't know.
come to think of it, kanji is made up of those standalone
Yeah.
letters,
Yeah.
characters, and shoot, maybe that's スズメじゃないかな? スズメ?
あ、そうですね。これスズメ
の下の字だよね。
のそうですね。
だから、スズメが木に止まってる、なんか
集まる
鳥が集まってるみたいな。So I think,
確かに。
I think, well, there's a for sparrow. There's a kanji for sparrow.
I think.
And I think that's the word instead of turkey. Maybe,
Okay.
or maybe it's turkey. I don't
Maybe
know.
both ways.
It probably
But
is,
it's
yeah.
more reasonable to think that it's a sparrow gathering in a tree.
For
Which would make a
Japanese, for
lot more
Japanese.
sense.
Yeah.
But anyways, yeah. I mean, it's visual
Wow.
like that, right? Kanji, and it has a deeper meaning.
That's I didn't know.
Yeah,
Until
I
today.
wish I was like that when I was
Until
studying kanji because I was
today.
like I wasn't really into kanji that when I was a student.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's great.
But it's interesting to
It's
hear.
funny. I've only met one Japanese woman that actually her mom taught her kanji, and I was just speaking with her like 2 days ago. This way. Instead of learning it
She's
as
Japanese?
one whole.
She
Mhm.
is.
Yeah, one whole. Her mom was the one that pointed that out to her when she was still in school. Of
Wow.
like, piece it together like stories. It's gonna make it a lot easier for you. She's just the only person that I've learned to do it. The other thing that I'm doing on purpose is I'm learning the kanji with one keyword. So kanji has multiple meanings, right? The order of the kanji and where it is in the word, it changes the meaning completely. I'm learning it to start with one. So for me, my key word for that is turkey. Whereas it, in reality, it means like the general idea of birds. So sparrows, crows, eagles, all of
Yeah,
those
for him, I
can
think
be
it's
from
great.
this. So I'm like deliberately only using one key word.
Got it. So you would like learn when you learn kanji, you would learn like related kanjis based on the character. For
Yeah.
example,
Yeah.
集まるっていううちのあれにが入ってる漢字を勉強したりとか。Or like there's a character for mouth, right?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of kanji that has that on the left side of the kanji, and you would
Yeah.
like study all the related kanji, so it kind of all connects in your like
Yeah,
in your brain.
that's exactly how it's happening. Is studying them as radicals separate,
Got
and
it.
then slowly putting them together
Got it.
in stories, or more for me is relating them into my life because then it makes it personal.
Awesome. So I want to ask you this question. So where did you two meet, right? Because obviously Johanna's from
出会いを
Okinawa,
聞きましたね。
but where did you two meet?
うん。
The first encounter.
Oh, you-
Okay.
sorry.
私たちの出会いの場所はスコットランドなんですけれども、
アメリカでもなく、
そうアメリカでもなく
沖縄でもなく、まあ
はい
はい
イギリスのスコットランドっていうところで出会いました。
へー
でYWAMっていう選挙団体の学校があって、その訓練で出会ったんですけど、実は私証があって、これのずっとこの 14歳ぐらいかな時からイギリスにずっと行きたいっていう思いがあって、でアメリカにはそんなに興味がなかったんですけど、ずっとこのイギリスにすごく興味があって、で14歳ぐらいの時からずっと神様行きたいですってお祈りしてて、で一度チャンスがあったんですけど、その時はその道が途絶えられて、で、半ばこの半分なんで神様っていう感じで諦めたんですけど、そのままずっとイギリスに行きたいっていう思いを心に秘めて置いといて、でその後何年ですかね、14歳の時なのでも結構経ってから神様がスコットランドに送ってくださって、ハズバンドとでその前に実は
同じクラス
そうなんです。その前に旦那さんのことも神様に、将来の旦那さん神様ってずっと10年ぐらいお祈りしてて、神様は一気に2つのそのプレゼントを与えてくださったんです。
So can I ask you, what was your criteria for an ideal husband?
Not me.
No, that's not true. That's not true.
理想の夫どうですか？
でそれをクイントンのどこに見つけたクリックしたっていうか。っていうか質問変えるから、so I'm gonna flip the question a little bit. So, what about, or I don't know if I'm phrasing this the right way. So, what do you like most about Quentin, or what made you fall in love with them, or what attracted you?
そうですね。まず表面的から言うとまず笑顔が素敵だなって思いました。
Your smile?
ね。素敵な、笑顔だなっていうのは思いました。で内面的から言うと本当にもうやっぱりオープンな人なんで、誰にでもすぐ話しかけて、とっても人が好きなんですよ。で人とのコミュニケーションするのも好きだし、さっき言ってたハグね、本当にすぐですぐだからみんなにもハグするし、でまたとってもハードウォーカーだし、よく働くし、で意外に表ではチャラチャラはしてないかもわかんないですけど
明るい、
そう明るくて何も考えてないような感じに見えるけど、すごごく深く物事を考えてたりとか、
すごいでも優しいです。
とっても気遣ってくれて、
気遣い難しいって言った割には気遣いすごくしますよね。
そうですね。そういうところが好きですね。
Wow. Can I ask you the same question, Quentin?
Yeah, so in my mind, I was trying to think of while she was talking. I'm like,
See, I knew it was coming.
He's gonna ask me. So I'm like, I gotta prepare this, and go figure. I got nothing. But I can say for me, I fell in love with what YOHANNA wants to be, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Because it's people change. That's reality. And that's something I learned the hard way when I was looking for the perfect person, the idea of this perfect person. Okay. This idea of the Disney Channel, love at first sight, and then everything just worked out and it was perfect and it was
Happy
oh my gosh. Yeah,
after.
Exactly. Versus the reality of people change. People have differences, especially when it's an international relationship.
Oh, yes.
Quentin, hey, you can't yell while it's midnight in the shower. You can't do that. Please, kind of those type of things. So for me, it was when
それ普通にみんなありますよ。普通にやっちゃいけないことな気がする。
It was when I really got to know her, because I knew her as a friend for only a couple months before we actually started really talking to each other and connecting. And when I started to connect with her, it opened this door of what she desires, what she wants, who she wants to be, and what she wants out of life. And that wasn't the stereotypical life, which, she used the word unique, and I say it's just weird. There's truth to that, because I can't have this normal, boring routine of a life. It's just never been who I am, and who I can be. So it was her dreams, how she loved people, and as cheesy as it sounds, when it always drove me crazy before I got married, when people would always, husband and wives would always talk about oh, but they make me a better person, and You know, they're like my better half. That always kind of drove me crazy. It's like, how does that actually work? I don't understand this cheesy, you know, but I kind of understand now because that's what it was even before we were dating, before we were talking, she was pushing me to be a better person, to love people better, to look at what is the deeper meaning behind what's happening in life, and more specifically, what you're talking about right now. You know, in any given situation, what is that meaning? What is that? What's under the surface, if that makes sense. Like when we first met, that's what we would always do that. Like there's this like ocean, and then there's so much more happening underneath, and we kind of still do that every once in a while. But we'll just do this, and it's like our way of telling each other like, what do you mean by that? What's actually going on when you say this?
What's the bottom line?
Exactly. So that's a long-winded answer of just the cheesy answer is the real one. She pushed me to be better.
Wow. What's the goal? I mean, for vision for you two. Yes, I want to. Let's talk about the future, bro. So what's coming? What's coming next from?
Is this me or do you want to? Okay, this is me. Yeah. So we just very recently, we kind of wrote down and put it in a frame. And at the current moment, it is literally 2 feet from where I sleep. It's right next to me when I wake up. It's the first thing. When I go to sleep, it's the first thing.
So that's a vision statement.
Yeah.
Wow.
In a frame, with pictures. It's not like the new agey vision boards. It's just like what we want to focus on with our life, kind of thing. And I've always been a person that understands the power of focus, the power of your words. So our vision that we just wrote. Is from nation to nation, inspiring people in the flesh and spirit through all forms of media.
Wow.
She's a very musically talented person. As you said, her voice is phenomenal. She can speak many languages.
So that connects to nation.
Absolutely.
So it's borderless.
And that's another, I didn't mention it, but that's another big reason why I started to really fall in love with her and really like her. Is I've always loved traveling, I've always loved culture, and I've always loved languages. I just lacked the discipline to learn those languages, whereas YOHANNA taught herself languages. And it was seeing that of like, this is a life that I want to live. This is somebody that I could live that life with. And that's what the future holds, is fine-tuning our abilities that have been given to us to inspire people in the flesh and the spirit.
Okay. What do you mean by the flesh?
Yeah. So by the flesh would be specifically kind of in their current body, and in the world, not in the kingdom, not Christians, would be people that, for example, like me, that wants to learn languages, but never took the time to take the discipline to study kanji every day, especially the days I didn't want to, right? Because you're going to do things that you don't want to do all the time, and that's the difference. Is someone that's willing and disciplined enough to continue to do it when it's hard, or someone that stops.
Right.
So in the flesh would be outside of the kingdom, non-Christians, people that just want to, they need to see more out there. What all they see is what they have on their phone. All they see is what they see in high school, middle school, and it's something's missing.
Right.
And there's a lack of vision, and it's kind of giving those people a vision. Would be like the flesh, the spirit.
The spirit, I guess, is more
in the kingdom. And encouraging people to follow through with what God has given them. For me, that is being loud. That is talking. That is connecting with people. I've always had this ability to connect with people even when I don't speak their language. I don't speak German. This man doesn't speak English. For whatever reason, we're able to have an entire conversation and connect with each other.
Right.
And that's what that looks like for me. YOHANNA can speak definitely for herself on what that particularly means.
Yeah. ヨハンナさんはどうですか？ビジョン、なんかビジョンステートメント、なんか夫婦でビジョンステートメント作ってあんまり聞いたことないんですけど、でもすごいですね。
そうですね。私クイントンが作りたいって言って、で前々からビジョンの話はしてたので、ネーションとネーション、この一つのところだけじゃなくて、いろいろな国、またいろいろな文化に ざっくり言えばまあ神様を福音を伝えたいっていうものなんですけど、今だいぶ結構話してたので私は何を言ったらいいのかもう本当に同じですね、言ってる
yeah,
そのまま
I
で
mean,
すね。
Quentin, tell me about. I mean, tell us about the media part because you have a video blog and
I do.
you're constantly uploading videos every day.
YouTuber ですよ。
Almost
Almost
yeah.
every day, and talk us about that. Why media, and why do you do what you do?
Yeah, so media came to me. We met on DTS, as she said, in Scotland.
What's DTS?
Discipleship Training School.
Okay, just so you know.
Sorry,
Just so the people know.
I assumed that she had explained it a little bit, but no, yeah, we did a discipleship training school together, and we were in the same school. And long story short, DTS is kind of training for missions. And I felt very challenged very quickly to not be asking for support, something that we were able to talk about right off the get-go, to tent making. You know, you can call that the culture I was raised in, or you can call that a personal kind of conviction that I feel. And after I went to DTS, we split, and I had to go to Spain for a little bit. And I walked something called an El Camino Trail, which is Spanish. It just means the way, or like the path. And it's a pilgrim trail. I don't know what that would be in Japanese. Very few Japanese people know what that is, apparently, in Japanese. But it's just this trail that you walk hundreds of kilometers long over the span of a month. And I had this huge realization with this guy I was working for, working on his farm. And somebody wrote a book about his property, and it's all donation based, and he just touches these people. His name is Alfonso, and it's called the Hope House. Anyone can look that up. And it's an amazing, it just opened my eyes. But somebody wrote a book about it, and it only sold a couple thousand copies, and it's definitely growing. But I had this realization of, through the people talk bad about the media, they talk bad about social networking, you know, but through the power of that, you could reach millions. I can upload a video here in Okinawa, and my friends can watch it in Nashville instantly.
Right.
You know, and it was kind of that. It just kind of literally it hit me like a wind, and I just thought, oh my gosh, there's such a power behind this. And
So was it, just to clarify, was it through the book, the content of the book, that you came to the realization that media has a great impact, or was it through that part kind of?
Good question. It was the testimony of Alfonso. Hearing him talk about somebody that wrote this book for him, that's when this realization came to me, because it's a paperback book. It's all written, published.
Okay.
So it wasn't necessarily through reading the book, because I actually haven't read the book, but
E-book.
it was. He has an ebook, and he also has like a paper copy book.
I see.
So it was more the concept and the realization of
Somebody else writing a story for
him.
For him.
About
Okay,
his
got it.
story about his house
it.
and about how Alfonso changed his life.
Okay.
And it was through that testimony that Alfonso was telling me about. Then I had this realization of, if someone, there's amazing people doing amazing things all around the world.
Right.
But somehow, whether on purpose or not on purpose, we seem to only hear about the really, really negative things. So I had this kind of the reality check of, let's provide a platform for really amazing people doing even bigger things than themselves. And what's the tool? What's the pathway to use it?
Wow.
And it's free platforms of social media. And it all came, that was a long-winded answer of something that came to me all at once. This realization of what this man wrote about in the book, I could turn into a movie and reach millions of people for free.
And that realization would not have happened if that person didn't write
that book
about it.
Exactly.
And so you felt, so it's like a double layer of.
Absolutely.
So I mean, that's amazing, because I feel the same way being here in Okinawa. I see a lot of creatives and really unique personalities, and a lot of really vibrant churches, and active in all kind of ministry, and it's not really being what's the word, shared or
exposed. Yeah.
Right? And I want to so part of the reason why we started this ministry, Jesus Beat, to begin with, is because we wanted to share what the local churches here are doing, because they're doing amazing jobs, and as well as local artists who are really talented, and YOHANNA being one of them, and I'm pretty sure that with the help of his new husband, or her new husband, well, her husband, there's more to come. So let's talk about that. YOHANNA-san, so what, これから So これからどんなことがYOHANNAさん挑戦ですか？なんかさっきクイントンと話してたら、
はい、
もっと音楽も
そうですね、
どんどんやっていきたいということだったんで、
So
musically, what is your challenge?
そうですね、クイントンもずっと YouTube いろいろアップロードしてるんですけど、私も同じように YouTube で、はい、音楽を発信できたらなっていう思いがあります。
いいですね。YOHANNAチャンネル。
YOHANNA
チャンネルですね。YOHANNAチャンネル。なんかクイントンの漢字コーナーってのも面白いんじゃないですか。
クイントンの漢字コーナーいいですね。
コーナー的に。
So we're just talking about, maybe we can have like a short
Quinton kanji.
Yeah, Quinton's kanji lesson
Okay,
or something.
Yeah.
Like
That'd
maybe
be really
like a
nice.
30
You
seconds,
should.
like a
People
program in
watch.
the channel. Maybe.
Yeah.
面白いかもしれない。
So what I actually on the YouTube channel that I have, I do upload. I'm uploading videos once a week. It's usually every Saturday, and it's just kind of the. I've always found these videos of people kind of sharing their language learning journey, but it's usually like 3-month update, 6-month update.
Okay.
What happened within those 3 months? Or a year in, this is where I am. It's been 3 years now, and it's like, what? But what did you like? What's actually happening? So I wanted to do, from what I've seen, I've never found somebody do it every single week
in a higher resolution.
Exactly, and in a practical way of like I'm immersing through Japanese. I'm using YouTube for free Japanese. I'm using this music. Okay, this isn't working for me. This is now working really well. So this is what I'm going to continue to do. This is what I'm going to forget about doing. And it's on a weekly basis. And it's not even as much of a show for me. It's just like this. Like I said, when I went out and searched, I found 3-month updates, 6-month, a year and a half. But I wanted this like real progression of like when I start this, don't speak anything at all.
And that's more convincing, right? And you can take the viewers on the journey that way.
That's
I feel
exactly.
Like people want that. Like, people want the process, the story behind it,
and
not chunks of like 1 month after 1 month, 3 months.
That applies to any language,
right?
Because there's a reality behind. Like I said, I was lacking the discipline to learn the languages that she has taught herself, and it's number one. There's a level of accountability that now it's like I'm putting it out there. So it drives me even more. I want to do better. I want to learn faster. I want to study more. And number two, it's exactly what you said. It's like a progression. It's like real. It's like, guys, you can do this. I studied Spanish on my own for several months and got nowhere because I didn't know how to study. Here's me studying Japanese, and here's every single week what I'm doing, what's working, what's not working. Take whatever. Someone can ignore it. Someone can take it and realize that they want to learn a language too, and that they can actually do it if they're willing to put the time in.
Wow. So where can we follow you on social?
Yeah. So it's pretty much all the same name. I have a YouTube page.
Yeah, we're gonna put it down in the description so that you guys can follow him.
Nice.
Especially those of you who want to learn Japanese as a second language.
Yes,
check him out.
That's a real thing, as well as if you're Japanese and you just want to learn English. Or if you're American and you have no idea what it's like to be in Okinawa. So it's just my name is the YouTube channel. It's called Quinton Santa Cola.
All right.
Quinton. It's down in the description. I'll skip that.
Follow him.
よろしくお願いします。
Something that I'm really trying to do as well is pictures worth 1,000 words. There's a reality behind that, and that happened when I was walking the El Camino Trail as well. I took a picture of this gentleman. And I looked back at it, and I looked back on it a lot, and I said, this is, like, I just took a picture of history in front of my eyes. 25 years from now, that's what it will become. Right now, it's just a picture on my phone. It's just a picture on Instagram or something like that, right? But in the future, I'm gonna look back on this and I'm gonna say, wow, that was a turning point in my life. So I also have an Instagram.
You're a photographer,
page.
right?
Yeah. I do have an Instagram page, Quentin Sanicola. It's just this same name, all no spaces.
Awesome.
And then the YouTube page is simply just my experience of learning Japanese as well as what it's like living here, not speaking Japanese, not speaking kanji. And that's kind of a general area, something I'm just trying to really grow in all of those forms of media.
Awesome. So, okay, so we want to wrap it up right now, but we had a special guest from Urazoe City, Okinawa, and a freshly married couple. And what's the last name again? Sanicola.
サニコラです。サニコラ。
サントニコラスがセントニコラスが
から来てるんですね。
から来ててサンニコラス
Sanicola.
So it's Italian? San Nicola.
San Nicola. And my name is Mamma Mia.
Sanicola.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Cheetos.
Mamma Mia.
Sounds like a Latin name. Doesn't it?
It really does.
あ、いるの
Absolutely.
ね。
Thank you for being on the show, Quentin and YOHANNA-san.
ありがとうございました。
All right. I'll see you next time. Bye
Bye.
bye. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.